House Leader of the Third Party.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday the Minister of Public Safety and Solicitor General disagreed with my observation that the handling of the Surrey policing transition is resulting in the politicization of public safety. Anyone who's followed the Surrey police transition knows it has been fumbled from the beginning. The result is the Minister and the Mayor of one of the largest cities in our province sparring in public. How does that foster public confidence? Now, the National Police Federation Union President Brian Sauve has written the Minister to address his, quote, misleading statements, end quote. It's about police of jurisdiction. The Minister claimed in a letter to Brenda Locke he can force the RCMP to, quote, work under the command of the Surrey Police Service, end quote. Of course, the all-party consensus report tabled 2 years ago addressed these jurisdictional concerns, but the Minister ignores good advice. Mr. Speaker, to the Minister of Public Safety, after receiving Mr. Sauve's letter admonishing him for misleading statements, does he still think the diminished confidence in public safety is disconnected from the mishandling of the Surrey policing fiasco?
Minister of Public Safety and Solicitor General.
Thank you, Honourable Chair, and I appreciate the question from the member. I made no misleading statements. What's clear when it comes to Surrey and, in fact, policing and the structure of policing in the province of British Columbia, that is the authority of the province of British Columbia, not Ottawa, not the city of Surrey. It's the authority of the province of British Columbia as to whether we have contract policing, municipal policing, or provincial police force. That decision is made here. What I also said is that the path forward, which we have been working on, we have an an agreement in principle that my ministry and the federal RCMP, the Commissioner, and Public Safety Canada have agreed on a path forward. I will have more to say on that in the weeks ahead. This is not, and the package that the City of Surrey rejected is not about whether or not the transition is going ahead, but is in fact about the law of the province of British Columbia, which is Surrey will be policed by the Surrey Police Service. And in terms of the contract, that is something that is taken up by the Police Federation with the RCMP management, and it is about ensuring that the law of British Columbia is upheld, and the law of British Columbia is clear. Surrey will be policed by the Surrey Police Service.
House Leader, Third Party Supplemental.
There's no question about that last part of the statement, but the entire process, Mr. Speaker, this minister understood 2 years ago that the police of jurisdiction was going to be a problem, and here we are 2 years later, and the police of jurisdiction question, surprise, surprise, maybe to everybody but the minister, hopefully, the jurisdictional issue exists. Mr. Sauve encourages the public safety minister to, quote, be more progressive and modern in their approach to labour relations, end quote. That's got to make the BC Fed smile, right? Quote, continuing, the NFP has been asking the province for clear transition plan with a definitive end date for the RCMP in Surrey. Should the province now have a plan? We eagerly await the details of the plan. Our members and the residents of Surrey deserve better from their political leaders, including clear, factual, and evidence-based information on public safety, end quote. That's from the head of the National Police Federation, Mr. Speaker. The minister flexes his legislative muscles in a submitted letter to Surrey. He told them that he had a plan with the federal government for the police jurisdictional issue Surrey Police brought to our committee 2 years ago. It's infuriating, Mr. Speaker, that we've worked so hard on building all-party consensus on police reform, only to watch this minister squander it. To the Minister of Public Safety, he told the Surrey that he had it all sorted out, and now Mr. Sauve has written a letter condemning his statements as misleading. Tell the people of Surrey, all British Columbians, on the record, how he intends to navigate the police jurisdictional issues he's allowed to fester for the last 2 years.
Minister of Public Safety.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and I appreciate the question. The transition has been underway. The transition continues. The member can shake his head, but the reality is this. The law of the province of British Columbia is that Surrey will be policed by the Surrey Police Service. I didn't interrupt you, member. So please don't interrupt when I'm trying to give you an answer to a question that you asked. And I'm sorry, member. Sorry, member, but I am answering the question. And the member asked the question, and we listened.
Members, let's get on with it.
And one thing I do know, honourable member, there's definitely no consensus on Surrey on that side of the House. What I can tell you, honourable Speaker, is that all of those issues have been part and parcel of the process that has been underway. All of it. And as I said a moment ago to you, that in terms of the path forward, when it comes to police of jurisdiction, that issue has been front and centre in terms of my ministry, the federal government, the Ministry of Public Safety, and the RCMP at the very highest level involving the Commissioner. I also said that there is an agreement in principle on how that will move forward. And that will be unveiled in the coming week. What I can also tell you is that we have had key persons, Jessica McDonald, working very closely with all the parties. It's unfortunate that the City of Surrey has chosen not to participate in that. We have made a very generous offer to address their concerns. The City of Surrey wants to walk away from $150 million plus up to $100 million in terms of ensuring a smooth transition so that their concerns are addressed, Honourable Speaker. All of the issues that have been raised are being addressed in a plan that has been in place since day one. And, Honourable Speaker, the transition will continue regardless of the judicial review because the law of the land and the law of the province of British Columbia is that Surrey will be policed by the Surrey Police Service.